Wasabi Wallet. Unfairly private.
If you're brand new to Bitcoin, a couple of the first things you're going to need to learn how to do is to buy Bitcoin, likely on an exchange, and secondly, to get Bitcoin into your own personally held wallet. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the latter, and we're going to be looking at the Bitpay wallet. We're going to look at how to use it, how to set it up, and we're also going to look at a few things in it that will help you to decide if this wallet is for you or if you should look elsewhere. I am Ben with the BTC Sessions, and this is your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
Before we dive into the tutorial, of course, I want to give a big shout out to sponsors of the show, LEDN.io. This is where you can use your Bitcoin for a variety of different services. Of course, they have their Bitcoin-backed loans. This is where you can use your Bitcoin as collateral to get a Canadian or US dollar loan. So if you're in a pinch and you need to get your hands on dollars, but you don't want to sell your Bitcoin because one, that is a taxable event, and two, you might be worried about having to buy back in at a higher price, well, this could be for you. They also have their Bitcoin and USDC savings accounts when you can earn up to 11.7% annually paid monthly. And they've got their B2X offering, which uses the same loan mechanism to instantly buy more Bitcoin, effectively doubling your Bitcoin on the spot. So if you want to check these guys out, there's a link in the show notes down below. If you click that link and opt to use one of their loan products, then they will give you $25 for free into your savings account. Up next, we have the Cobo Vault. This is one of my regularly used hardware wallets, and I love it because it does something called air gapping. This allows you to use a hardware wallet without connecting it to any internet connected device. Everything is done via QR code, and this means that the keys to your money are held safe and offline. Now, this thing, it has a secure element which keeps the keys segregated on the device. It has open source firmware, and you can use Bitcoin only firmware, which I do recommend, and it works interoperably with a number of my favorite wallets like Bitcoin Core, Electrum, Wasabi Wallet on desktop, and Blue Wallet on mobile, which actually will be featured partly in this video as we interact with BitPay. So be sure to check out Cobo Vault. There's a link down below if you want to pick one up. For reference, I am using the Cobo Vault Pro, which has the fingerprint scanner and the rechargeable battery. And finally, one of the places that I regularly use, because I am all in, I am 100% Bitcoin, my income is Bitcoin, and I live on Bitcoin. And obviously, I need to eat, I need to get gas, I need to do shopping, things like that. And Bitrefill allows me to do so while also earning Bitcoin back as I shop. So head over there. They have just this plethora of cards of anywhere that you might want to shop. It's super easy to use. They accept Bitcoin, they do accept altcoins, and they also accept the Lightning Network, which won't be touched on in this video, but allows for instant and nearly free transactions using Bitcoin. So be sure to check out Bitrefill. As always, links down below. With that, let's dive in. Here on my phone, I have the BitPay app. I also have a couple other apps that are exchanges and wallets that will help us interact with BitPay so we can demonstrate sending and receiving transactions. When you open up the BitPay app for the first time, you're going to need to create a new wallet. First, it's going to show you some general information about what BitPay does. You just need to click through, check off that you've read terms and services, so on and so forth, and hit I understand. Now this immediately bumps you to your home screen. And here you're going to see a total value of anything you have sitting in your wallet. There's options for shop, buying crypto. It shows exchange rates for Bitcoin and a few other currencies. And then down below at the very bottom is kind of where all the important stuff is. These are your tabs to get to where you need to be. So your home screen that you're on. If you hit the wallet, it says that you can create or import a wallet, and this is what we'll be doing momentarily. There is the scanning or camera screen that allows you to scan addresses and send to other people. There's another tab that has cards, and this thing here seems to take some time loading, but I've noticed that when I go to tap on it, it doesn't take me anywhere, and I don't want to be notified if I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to leave that alone. But it allows you to buy gift cards here within the app. And then finally you have your settings tab, which gives you a few options. I'm going to do a couple things here before we even get started. I'm going to change my display currency. I'm in Canada, so it'll make more sense as I'm sending to see a consistent unit of account. It gives you some other information here. Tons of different, obviously they want to kind of show you different things there. But back to settings, again, you can turn on notifications, you can lock the app with a PIN code. Yeah, so not too much else that I want to change here. I think everything looks good to me, just changing my unit value. You can also change the theme from light mode to dark mode. For now, we'll go with light because that's likely what you're going to be seeing. Okay, so back to the home screen, or rather back to the wallet screen, we need to get started and create a wallet. So we're going to hit get started. Now, select currencies. Now, I am not a huge fan of altcoins. That's kind of beyond the scope of this video, but I will link to a video that I did on altcoins below that you can check out if you're so inclined. But I'm going to go ahead and turn off the other currencies here. I'm not interested. I'm just going to hit create. Now, if you have a previously created wallet, which is a list of 12 to 24 words, depending on where you created it before, you can import it down below as well. So you'll see what I mean by those 12 to 24 words in a minute. So we're going to hit create. Okay, and again, it gives you some general information that the key to your funds is on your device and it's your responsibility. Don't lose it. Okay, I understand. It's creating a wallet. Would you like to protect this wallet with a password? So you can encrypt your funds so that nobody can gain access to your funds if they get into your wallet. I'm going to hit no for this, but if you choose to, just know that adding a password means that if you misplace this password or forget it, BitPay cannot help you. It is your own password. They don't have a copy of it. Okay, I'm going to hit no. I'm sure that's all good with me. Good. Okay, so here it says I have a Bitcoin wallet and it needs a backup. So when you hit backup, you're going to be given a recovery phrase, and it says you got to be careful with this. It's kind of like when you have a key to your house, you can create a copy of that key, and anybody who has a copy of that key can access whatever's in your house. Well, this is like a digital vault for your money, and anybody who has access to the key, including the backup that you're about to write down, they can gain access to your funds. So just keep that in mind and don't share this with anybody. But effectively, it's going to give you 12 words. You're going to write them all down and then come back. So we'll be back in just a moment after I've done that. Now, when you are backing up the seed phrase, those 12 to 24 words that you're going to be writing down at the moment, you can do so on paper, but please do be careful because that is obviously susceptible to things like fire and water damage. So if there's a flood or something and you're trying to get your backup of your wallet and it's very easy to ruin a piece of paper or accidentally throw it out. So you may want to consider something outside of that, like backing up your seed in solid steel. So there's these guys called privacypros.io, and they offer something called the BillFodl. And what it is it's a solid steel plate with tiny tiles with letters on them, and you can slide them in and save your backup phrase in solid steel, obviously fireproof, waterproof, and U-proof, because you're much less likely to accidentally throw out a solid piece of steel than a piece of paper. I'll link to them down below if that's something that you might want to do. All right, I'm at the end of my list. I hit continue, and here you have a skill testing exam. Basically, you're going to take the words and you're going to tap them in order to ensure that you have actually written them down. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to just go through this quickly. So once they're in order, you hit confirm, and you are done. You've backed it up and you've verified your recovery phrase, and you keep that somewhere safe away from prying eyes. Hit OK. We're all done. We have access to our wallet. After initial setup, what you're likely going to be doing is receiving Bitcoin into your wallet from somewhere that you've purchased it. For a lot of you, that will be an online exchange of some sort. So what you need to do first is after having purchased Bitcoin on an online exchange, which I've done some videos for, but it depends on what part of the world you're in. It can vary. You're going to need to get your receiving address. So how do you do that? You're going to go and tap on Bitcoin, and right there is a receive button. When you hit receive, you're presented with two things. You're presented with a long list of numbers and letters. That is your receiving address. And down below, there's a QR code. Now, anybody that's in front of you with a Bitcoin wallet can use their phone to scan this QR code, and that will effectively give their phone this information, your receiving address. It's like an email address. So your phone knows where to send money, or their phone knows where to send money. But if you're using an online exchange and you just need to copy the digits, there's a little copy button right here. You can tap it, and it is copied to your clipboard. So now that we have that information, we're going to go out and we're going to go into one of those other apps that I had. And this is a Canadian exchange called Shakepay. I just happen to have some funds on there that I can send out. So again, it varies very much depending on what type of app you're using and how you're buying your Bitcoin. But regardless, you'll have some sort of a balance sitting on an exchange somewhere, and you'll need to send or withdraw the money. In this case with Shakepay, they use the word send, but it may be withdraw or something similar on your exchange. Either way, I'm going to hit send, and it's asking, where do I want to send this to? Okay, and it even gives me a little option here, send, select from clipboard, and there's that address that I copied. And I know because I made note of the first few digits and the last few digits. Alternatively, I could paste it in here. Same thing, it pastes it in. Okay, but either way, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna hit select from clipboard, and there I see it's pasted it in and ready to send. So at this point, what I'm gonna do is, how much Bitcoin do I wanna send? I wanna send everything off. I'm just gonna hit max, but I could type in a specific amount of Bitcoin that I would like to send. Either way, that's all good for me. I'm gonna hit continue and confirm, and off it goes. And that should be sent from the exchange. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay because the exchanges send out batches of transactions all at the same time. But in a little bit, we should see an incoming transaction in my Bitcoin wallet. And if you want to recheck, you can swipe down and it'll refresh. It's not here yet, but we'll jump back as soon as it is. When your transaction is sent to you, when it actually goes out from the exchange, it will show up in your wallet. You will see a balance in Bitcoin and down below in your local currency, whatever you've decided to denominate it as. And you'll also see the transaction and a list of other transactions down below. And when it first shows up, it will be showing as receiving. Okay, you can tap on it, you can see the date, and it'll say unconfirmed. Now, you may wonder what that means. Effectively, the Bitcoin network settles transactions roughly every 10 minutes. And that can vary on a number of factors, but once it is officially confirmed and added to what's known as the Bitcoin blockchain, you will be able to spend those funds and move them around as you please. But at least you can see it coming in as it is receiving, or in the process of receiving. So once this is actually confirmed, then we will take a look and we'll practice sending out. When your transaction is confirmed, it will show as received down below. You can see that it was confirmed 9 minutes ago. My balance is up top, and if I tap on the transaction itself, again, all of the details are there. You can see how many confirmations it has, any fees that were used to pay for it, time, date, all of that stuff. So now that it is confirmed, we can actually send out of this wallet. And clicking on the send screen, effectively what you need to either do is paste in an address you would like to send it to. So if somebody has texted or messaged you, then you can paste that in here, or you can hit the scan button, which will open up your camera so that you can scan a QR code in front of you. So since we're going to be sending to another wallet on this phone for this demo, I'm going to go back, I'm going to open up my blue wallet here. So this is another wallet that I have done videos on before. It's one of my go-to wallets. So I'll just show you basically what to do here. I have a Bitcoin wallet sitting right here. I'm just going to hit receive. And much like in Bitpay, I'm presented with a QR code that could be scanned or an address down below that can be tapped and copied. Okay, simple. Let's head back to Bitpay. So I copied the address that was in Blue Wallet. It's now on my clipboard, so I can just paste it in here. Or as I said, I could be scanning a QR code with the camera. At this point, I can say an amount of Bitcoin I would like to send, or by tapping this little button off to the side here, a Canadian dollar value or whatever your currency that you're dealing in, you can set that amount here. If you would like to send out everything from the wallet, you can hit this button up top in the right that says Send Max. Now when I tap that, this is where I get to the point within this wallet where I experience some problems in that it's not as efficient as it could be. Now I'm going to gloss these over for right now, but we will talk about them afterwards. You'll notice I have a minor fee notice, and so when you go to send out a transaction from your wallet and you're sending the entire thing, it just notifies you that your the fee that you're paying to send the transaction will be taken out of the total amount sent. Okay, so just be aware of that. I'm going to say, okay, got it. Now, let's take a look at what's in front of us. It says I'm sending to the address that I pasted in. My minor fee is set to normal. Now, your minor fee is based upon how quickly you want the transaction to be accessible and spendable. If you're not in a huge rush, you can change this. You can tap and go down. You can go urgent, and we'll talk a bit more about fees here in a moment. Now, if you'll notice, this is how fees are measured. They're measured in Satoshis per byte, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But do note, 112 Satoshis per byte here is said to be a normal fee. But if you look back to the incoming transaction, if you noted it, the exchange that sent money to us paid 4 Satoshis per byte, and it took maybe 10 minutes to come through. So just make note of that. Anyways, I'm gonna leave actually one more thing to note here. You can set custom fees, and you can tap here and change the fee. I'm actually gonna do that so I'm not wasting money. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set a fee of about, let's say, not even that, 6 Satoshis per byte instead of the 110 that was recommended. I'm gonna apply changes. I got it. Okay, perfect. That takes us down. It's about 30 cents to send this transaction instead of the $5.50 it was telling me before. And I'm going to go ahead and slide to send, confirm, payment sent. Okay, and just really quick, let's jump over to Blue Wallet. I'm going to swipe down to see any incoming transactions. And there we can see a pending transaction on the way in right here, 0 confirmations, but that will be confirmed soon enough. Okay, perfect. And with that, we have now sent, or rather received, and then sent from the Bitpay wallet. So let's get to what I thought about the Bitpay wallet. I would say overall, at face value, it's a pretty easy wallet to use and set up. So for the most part, going through, I like that they force you to do your backup because some wallets don't do that, and that leaves people who have no backup of their wallet, and that's never a good scenario. The sending and receiving makes sense, and for the most part, once you've done a few Bitcoin transactions, it's pretty par for the course and easy to use. Where this wallet loses me is actually you wouldn't have even noticed it, and I purposely glossed it over as I went through the tutorial because I wanted to pinpoint now how easy it is for newcomers not to realize this. But the address format that they use in the Bitpay wallet is actually doing users a disservice. So with Bitpay, your Bitcoin address starts with a 1. This is known as a legacy address. It is a old form of Bitcoin addresses that is not used very often anymore by most companies and wallets out there. It is very outdated. The updated version of that is known as a SegWit address, and it will either start with a 3 or a BC1. And the long and short of it is using SegWit addresses, the new versions that have been available since 2017 at this point, helps you reduce fees because it is a more efficient way to use the Bitcoin network. Bitpay does not use these. Now, the thing about using legacy addresses is you don't realize that it's going to incur more fees for you until you go to send out of your wallet. So you could be receiving funds all day, doesn't affect you, no idea. Days later, weeks later, months later, when you go to send out of your wallet, it is an inefficient way to do so based on where those Bitcoin are stored. And it's going to end up costing you a lot more to send those funds onwards and elsewhere. The other gripe that I have is that the fee estimation of what you should be paying to get your transaction through quickly is way, way overblown. Now, I should say that a lot of wallets tend to overestimate fees just so that the transaction will go through quickly. By default, they'd rather have people pay more than go through their customer service and constantly be asking, why is my transaction not through yet? Because a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of how Bitcoin fees work. However, in suggesting these exorbitant fees, like I pointed out, they suggested 110 Satoshis per byte, which is how fees are calculated. It's referencing a denomination in Bitcoin. It equated to, at the time, it was going to cost about $5.50 to send that transaction off. But we know from the fees set by the exchange when it's sent to us, which confirmed relatively quickly, they only used 4 Satoshis per byte. So on we're looking at 20x times the suggestion of fees that BitPay suggested within the wallet. I was able to adjust my fee when we sent it out and set a custom one, but most people will likely go with the default fee and be way overpaying. Now, the other issue that I have is in sending out, if you go and set a custom fee and it ends up taking too long, you have zero recourse, when you could actually have recourse if they implemented certain solutions. So there is a feature called RBF, or replace by fee, and a number of wallets have implemented this now. And what it allows you to do is you can set a low fee, and if it's taking too long and you end up being in a rush, you can reset the fee to something higher to get it through quicker. This allows you to attempt to get a transaction through for less and only bump it if you absolutely need to. It also allows you to cancel a transaction outright if it's taking too long and you change your mind. So they do not have that in the BitPay wallet. However, what they do have is they do highlight the percentage of the total amount that you're sending that is allocated to fees. So they seem to like to point out how much you're paying in fees as they're suggesting that you pay an exorbitant amount for those fees, while also offering no available solutions to help remedy the situation. They don't offer RBF. They don't offer anything that resembles an easy way to decipher what a good fee is, in that they're 20xing what could get you into the next block. They also don't allude to anything like Lightning Network, which is a way to send and receive transactions using Bitcoin, which is instant and nearly free, or very, very cheap anyways. So they don't have any of those things implemented, which leads me to believe that they're trying to draw attention to the poor fee structure that they've more or less kind of created themselves, and deter you towards experimenting with some of the other coins that they have, or perhaps trading with other coins with their partners that they have listed within the wallet. So for me, I would say that BitPay personally is not a wallet that I would use. I'm going to delete it after having done this video. If you're looking for a better solution and you would like my suggestion, I would check out my tutorial on Blue Wallet, the one that we actually sent to. It enables all of the solutions that I just told you. So RBF, allowing you to change the fee or cancel the transaction. It uses the most efficient form of Bitcoin addresses, SegWit ones that have a BC1 in front of them. And it also gives you the option of using a Lightning wallet, which, as I said, is instant and nearly free, and you're still using Bitcoin. So all in all, I would say BitPay has put together a wallet that on its on its front facing kind of front facing, it looks like it's a great wallet and easy to use, but later down the line, when you really need those additional features and those efficiencies in order to save money, they will not be there. So this is going to be a pass for me. But if you want links to any of the other suggestions that I talked about, you can check those down below. Also, I did make mention of how I am somewhat critical of basically all altcoins out there, and there are reasons for this. I will link to a video that I've done on that down below as well, and you can make your own decisions regarding this. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. If you want to help out the show, please do hit like, subscribe, and share. All of those things really do help and get videos like this in front of more eyeballs. If you want to help out the show in another way, you can hit up the sponsors that I mentioned down below. That was LEDN, Cobo Vault, and of course Bitrefill. Now, if you really liked what you saw, you can always drop me a Bitcoin Lightning Network tip at my tippin.me page. If you don't know how to use Lightning Network yet, I do have videos on how to use it. I recommend checking out Breeze Wallet and Phoenix Wallet for that. Or, like I mentioned before, Blue Wallet allows you to have a Lightning Network wallet as well. Either way, if you decide to drop a tip, you can head over to my tippin.me page. That is tippin.me/@BTC Sessions. With that, I am out. Have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, wherever you may be, and I will see you next time for your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.